Good evening, everyone. This is G33197 here, and this will be why I believe in segregation, kind of like a part two of the first one I made. Unbeknownst to many of my Judeo black Christians, which I'm not a Judeo Christian, I don't practice any form of religion. Spiritual, yes. That do I have a form of biblical? No. Was I born and raised as a Roman Catholic? Yes. Do I practice it? No. Fuck no. But anyway, integration. Integration, the way how it's used today, is a commercial value. It's not a natural social value. If you ever, and I'm talking to my fellow color folk, if you're non-white, I know you understand this, especially if you live in the United States. If you ever notice how you get treated very differently from the whites, doesn't matter how successful you are, doesn't matter if you have your own, communities as they call them. By the way, there's no such thing as a black community. Every time you keep saying yourself, every time you keep calling an ethnic group a community, you belittle that ethnic group, believe it or not. That's part of the integration / segregation. Think about this. If we were such an integrated society, it wouldn't make no sense for us to even have a black community. But like I said, under the white supremacy, racism society, you don't have a community to begin with. Doesn't matter. You start producing your own shit. If you're being taxed, guess what? You don't have a community. Why are people getting taxed for their fruits of labor? Why is it that blacks, for example, predominantly black males, get the shit end of the stick at the workforce? Why is it that black males, Hispanic males, Asian males get the shit stick at going to colleges? Oh, and by the way, for those that try to compare black academics compared to Asian American academics, those stats are false. Americans in general, doesn't matter what ethnic background you are, you live in the United States, Canada, or Mexico, you get the shit end of the stick. I know plenty of people that have bachelor and master, and even in some cases PhD degrees, and they working as a manager in Sears or Walmart or fucking Best Buy or Target. Barely can make past 65 grand a year. So don't tell me that degrees are good. Your college education would never surpass you or grant you away from white supremacy. Actually, their education further close you in within it. Instead of expel you out away from white supremacy, you are deeply more in it than you are out of it. I said it to all my melanated brothers plenty of times on the videos. We as non-white males and females need to learn to harness a trade, a vocational trade. Because those so-called white-collar salaries don't exist no more. $100,000 a year within the so-called black community, or known as the nigger community, or Hispanic community, or known as the Spit community, or the Chinese community, or known as the Chink community, and the list goes on and on. It's no disrespect what I'm saying, but it is what it is. You ever notice when you make $100,000 a year, they still consider you guys middle class income? But whites that make $100,000 a year or less is considered white collar. Let me say that again. Whereas Asians, Hispanics, indigenous blacks, and indigenous Mongoloids, I should say, including some Arabs and whatnot, make $100,000 a year, is considered blue collar, or known as the middle class. Whereas whites that make $50,000 to $100,000 a year are considered white collar. My point into this subject is that there is no such thing ever called equality. We will never be equal to them. When it comes to this so-called social experiment called equality. Okay? And I know I'm going to hear, because I hear this from white folks, predominantly the white males, and I hear this a lot from the black women and some black men, but predominantly black females, especially the dark-skinned ones mostly. Oh, you advocating, you're a racist. You're a racist because you want to separate. Well, I want us non-whites to build each other up first. Think about it. The so-called white system had it had exactly 532 fucking year head start. They colonized every inch of the Western Hemisphere as well as the Eastern Hemisphere. They have a global dominance. What part that you don't get? We under a militarized occupation. You cannot be equal. It doesn't matter how you build group economics or prosper in the black community or the Hispanic community or the Asian community or the Middle Eastern community or the Caribbean community, yes, or the indigenous, Indian, black, and Mongoloid tribe communities. You can't. And I went to those Indian reservations, I'm telling you, both Asiatic Mongoloids and indigenous Aboriginal blacks. And I'm telling you, man, if you think Bed-Stuy Brooklyn is bad, if you think South LA is bad, if you think Miami's bad, um, if you think Detroit and Chicago's bad, these Indian reservations are fucking worse. They are torn the fuck up. They are crime ridden. Police brutality is at an all-time high. There was a recent incident with a federal indigenous Asiatic Mongoloid sister. I read up the article and I tried to watch the video earlier while I was at work, where she got detained by the cops and she told the police that, hey, I need medical attention. I need medical attention. You know, they told her, quit whining. Quit faking. She ended up dying. She's dead. Guess who's the police officers that arrested her? White. They don't have a police force in those reservations. Those Indians, both black and Mongoloid, they don't have, they barely have their own indigenous people representing their police or cops. It's white people that's doing that. I wonder why. Even when you segregate from them, you still go get tortured. You still go get maimed. You still go get killed. And I wish people would get it. And I know I'm going to get a lot of pro-black females. The only way that's going to go against what I'm saying here, the only way you are ever going to prosper in this system is self-determination and self-preservation. In other words, you better practice being an individual. And that's number 3. Number 4. Your best bet, if you really want to be free, if you really want to be a free person, you got to get rid of the surname. You're going to have to let go of that social insurance card. In the States, we call social security. There's pros and cons to be under that system, by the way. But it's time to be fully accountable and learn self-governance. That's the only way we're going to survive. And I got to tell a lot of these melanated people this. Nobody don't own your goddamn thing. So I know I'm going to get a lot of pro-black females come up here saying that you supposed to uplift. Ain't nobody supposed to uplift no community. That's your job as individuals, to uplift yourselves. Once you hit adulthood, it's nobody's responsibility. Ain't nobody going to tell me. Nobody don't. Look, I'm making money and I'm still struggling living in New York State, where I'm living in New York. Nobody comes up to me and say, hey, we're going to look after you, GW. We're going to make sure you take care of, your wife take care of, the rest of your family take care of. Don't worry about it. We're going to get you a job and everything. Just contribute to the community. That shit ain't going to happen. Okay? We need to see, the one thing that a lot of you guys need to think, never in the history, in recorded history, in the last 36 to 3,800 years, to be exact, throughout Western society of Western Europe, has the Anglo-Westernized white males ever were considered individuals. They don't operate under individualism. They operate under collectivism. They operate under the hive mentality. To this very day, they cannot function whatsoever by being a lone wolf. That's an oddity to them. Eastern Europeans, on the other hand, they have that mentality. They always like to tinker. They always like the event shit. Whereas the westernized whites and northern whites, they like to infiltrate. That's what collectivism teaches you, how to collect data by infiltrating and by stealing one's culture and then try to take it and claim it as if it was one of your own. Okay? You hear whites make little silly jokes that, yeah, we go around the tribe, we infiltrate, we conquer, we take over, we destroy. And they take fucking part of that. So why on earth would you want to integrate with a society like that, knowing that they braggadociously boast about doing shit like that? And I'm not saying all white people do that, but most predominant males, because let's face facts here, females don't build shit. Males build shit. So when it comes down to racism, it's predominantly a social, economic, and genetic geopolitical campaign against another tribe or nation or country that has some interests that you are interested in, of owning. It's always about land grabbing. It's always about genetic human resource. It's always about oppression and keeping the slave mentality, the herd mentality, the collectivism bestowed upon the oppressed, so they won't rise up and be a competition. And the only reason why we are a threat to them, black man, Hispanic man, Asian man, wherever you are, you got dark hair, brown eyes, and different shade of melanated skin, is because our genetic supremacy. I give you case in point. We all know that Europeans are predominantly recessive, hands down, unless you live in Southern Europe, in the Mediterranean area, where the UVA rays are high, therefore their complexion are much more darker compared to Northern, Western, and Eastern Europe. Well, half of Eastern Europe anyway, I should say. We know that wherever someone with stronger melanin, doesn't matter if they're from part of the Southern Mediterranean Europe, doesn't matter if they're from Africa, doesn't matter either from China, yes, doesn't matter if they're from the Western Hemisphere, the blacks and the Mongoloids and the Americas in general. Like I said, it doesn't matter in Asia. The list goes on and on. We could breed them out, either when we mate with their women, or they man mate with our women. They cannot physically, out of all the species on the planet Earth, have the opposite effect like we have on them when it comes to breeding. Unanimously. All white supremacy is a psychological genetic democide. And I don't know why you had this fear towards any male, predominantly black, and in a lot of cases Hispanic, a lot of black and brown people. That's all it is throughout the planet. A lot of black and brown and yellow people throughout the planet Earth. I don't know where this self-perpetuated envious fear comes from, but it got to stop. And when you acknowledge that fear and bring it to the table forefront, then we can work on peace, prosperity, then social equality. Until then, there will never be a social equality. Not under this monetary system, not under this crazy ass paradigm system that we live in. It will never ever happen until, let's face facts, until white people as a collective, one, hold individually accountable, Not of the past crimes. I'm talking about the current situation. And even you got relatives that still around today that still practice what they practiced in the past. That still don't get them off the shit list. Until then, don't get mad of a guy like me that says, hey, I want to have my own black business and look after my own people. Because let's face facts here. Not too many white businesses give a damn about black men, Hispanic men, Asian men, Middle Eastern men, to be honest with you, let alone Central Asian men, let alone African men or men throughout the Caribbean or Caribbean for that matter, as well as Hispanics over there. They only care about their own, but they sure know how to go after our women. They sure know how to do that, and they think that going to secure their genetic supremacy. You don't realize if you breed with a Hispanic woman, you're not going to produce a 110% white child. That child's going to be 75% Hispanic, or in this case, Hispanic Mongoloid. That's what that child's going to be. He or she got more melon than your recessive ass. I don't know what part of that you don't understand. And you need to give up this white supremacy. You need to end it very soon. Look at it. Just this past month, you got 2 shootings. I'm going to do a video about this. You got 2 shootings within the month. 2 mass murder shootings. This happens, I get articles like this. This happens on a monthly basis throughout the so-called white communities throughout the United States and Canada and Mexico. There are white people going off doing mass murder shootings. They going bipolarly out of control. I'm not making this up. Within 2 months, you got 3 mass murders. One bigger than the other. It's not a race war. So before you go up there try to attack me and say I'm being a racist and a bigot, if I was being a racist and a bigot, I'd be conquering your ass right now. If I was being a racist and a bigot, I'd be conquering your damn continent called Europe. I'd be killing you in mass. I'd be putting you in reservations. I'd be doing Tuskegee syphilis tests on you. I will be giving you smallpox. And wiping you out. I'll be creating a financial disparity against you. And have other groups attack you. I will be studying whitewashing your history, blackwashing your history. I would deny your heritage and give you a false narrative and have your woman turn against you. Then you could say, hey, you know what? Okay, right. You're right. I'll conquer you. Yeah. Okay, you're right. You got me. I'm a racist. I'm not a racist. Don't try to sling. That's the problem. You boys need to learn how to read your asses off. That's why I said most Americans don't know how to read between the age of 18 and 54. Doesn't matter what ethnic background you are. And whites, you are leading the highest illiteracy rate throughout the United States. Don't even bother that bullshit with me. You claim you the majority? Well, that's what happens when they look up the fake ass stats about who's the majority, who's really the minority. But yet they gonna call people like us that's that got different shades of skin, black, brown, and yellow, and caramel skin, or copper color skin tone, and olive skin tones versus white. But I'm gonna correct somebody. I'm gonna correct everybody on this. The word black means bleach. You bleach out. You black out. The word white means bleach, white out, black out, blank out. So by you calling yourself white and me calling myself black, technically, I'm wiping my existence out. I'm an Aboriginal brother. And for those that claim that they got so-called Indian in their blood, also you either got Mongoloid or you got Negroid in your blood. So if you don't got Mongoloid, also you got some niggers in your blood. Because last time I checked, the first 10 to 15 presidents of the United States got some form of genetic Aboriginal Indigenous American Negroids in their bloodline. Don't start that shit with me. Don't start that shit with me. It is what it is. This is G331979 here, and this is why I believe in segregation. I'm out.